Hey, good people. Welcome to Miss Leanne Ya's Third Eye 13 and this special 13th of the month live stream. And I just am on because I wanted to post something on this 13th of the month, since that has been my plan. As in my description or in the title, I ain't afraid of no 13th. And I add to that what I am scared out of my mind about is trying to figure out what all of this whole thing is all about. If I should make such an effort to put content out, and I'm having a really hard time just trying to honor it. I've said before that I have, through a lot of trial and error, sort of come to the conclusion that one of the things that I'm meant to do in this life is to educate people on what it means to have purpose. And so I've kind of gone through a lot of ups and downs to get there, to realize that. And I certainly value and appreciate it. But I also have those days and times when I really just um, wonder what the whole human experience is all about, like why we're doing this. So I do firmly believe that we are all of the divine source, and that the divine is within, and in that we have a call for our life, the thing that we are meant to do. But it's that balance. So my belief is that we all have the divine within, but being that we're human, we have to balance that divinity with our human nature. And so in balancing the humanness, the human experience, I have a struggle quite often, like quite often, trying to figure out why, um, what it's all about. And I had a conversation earlier today with my lifesaver, who just basically talked me down and tried to help me to understand that, to hang my hats on the clarity of understanding that, being that is such an existential question. It's like something that, I guess, if anyone, very few people who have walked this physical realm have come to an understanding for. And that's not to say that I shouldn't continue to seek answers and try to find an understanding. His advice was just that I not value the answer, not value the revelation so much, like not to again hang my hat on that in terms of moving through and trying to navigate the human experience. But anyway, I just do. I have that real conflict in terms of just my thinking is challenged so often, especially when I watch various people's perspective, folks on YouTube, basically on social, and when I get pulled into those rabbit holes of trying to pick up different philosophies, and it's a trick that everyone seems so sure and so convicted in their perspective or in their philosophy, and when I hear something that makes sense, I pick it up and I take it in, and I think that ends up doing more harm than good for me, because if it makes sense, I'll sort of attach it to some part of my belief system, and then I get all messed up, all thrown out of whack and out of balance. So anyway, I just again wanted to go on, and I'm going to just let it fly and let it be, for however long it needs to be out in the world. I had wanted to my plan. I was producing yesterday, my response or my thoughts about the debate, and actually not just this most recent debate, but the first one with President Biden and former President 45, and I'd actually tried to do a live, and I used the content from Hulu, and then it wasn't posted because of the copyright, and I haven't figured out how to basically um, overlay my opinion on content without having to explain it and then explain my position. I just haven't figured it all out. I'm still figuring out how to present my voice and what's not. So anyway, yeah, I just what I will say is that in the first debate, um, there was a lot of concern. I had a lot of fear around the outcome, like how that debate came out before it became like the national dialogue that President Biden needed to consider bowing out and passing the baton. I had that thought for a moment as I watched the debate, but um, what I was really left with after it, when like trying to go to bed that night and just not being able to sleep. My sleep was kind of off anyway, but that night it was especially restless. I could not sleep. I could not quiet my mind. And a lot of it was because I was thinking, oh God, what if he doesn't step down? What if he does go forward and 45 is reelected and is 47 and 47 stands forever as he would have it? It's like, what do I do? I don't know. What do I do? Because that just frightens me to death. Like, what do I do? So where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I end up? I don't know. So that was then. That was back in June, the end of June, and then thankfully 3 weeks later he put as one of the co-hosts of Review, I think it was Alyssa, said that all of the talk had been about um, that the GOP had been putting the party before country, and her argument with regards to arguing why President Biden needed to step down is that he was putting personal ambition before country. And so it turns out that thankfully he did realize that it would be a better outcome if he passed the baton. And luckily, I think he had a great choice in a vice president. He had confidence in her, pass it along to her. And I watched the DNC. There was a lot that came out of the DNC that I would love to have my say on, but maybe that's another time, or maybe it's past, since it's over. But it was very energizing and very enlightening in terms of learning more about her. Even though I kind of, I'm not one of those people who's like totally hands off on the political scene. So I knew enough, but it was really good to have a deeper dive and to meet some of the people around her, namely the second gentleman and then a lot of the other members in the party who, are ones to watch. So then that was the DNC, but then back to the most recent event this past Tuesday, the debate with Vice President Harris against, again, former President 45. And I went to a watch party. I found one of the DNC offices and I went and watched it with them. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because it was a lot of energy and as you would expect it would be. But then anyway, when I watched it later, on Hulu, I watched it later. I got a lot of good information out of it. And then I watched The View, which basically my whole point in establishing the Leave You Through the Third Eye Facebook page was to basically offer my commentary as like the sixth or the seventh member of the View panel. But anyway, so maybe all of that will come. But today I just wanted to get on in these last minutes of Friday the 13th and say, I ain't afraid of no 13th, but I am afraid that I will never figure this whole thing out about what is the point? Why are we here? What is it about? Okay, yes, we have the divine within. We have a gift to gift the world. Mine is education. Mine is helping people to value their purpose and their gift. But what about the rest of it? I just don't know. Anyway, so, okay, we're going to let that be it for now. So I'll just say thank you very much for checking me out and sticking with me. Hopefully you did watch it all. And hopefully, or I affirm that be it by divine appointment, you will check me out the next time as well. And I will close with Namaste, which means the light within me honors the light within you. And I release all of that now to the source to be done. And so it is. Amen and Ashe.